the Browning OPMOD First Priority Knife. This is a collaboration with Browning and OpticsPlanet. OPMOD stands for OpticsPlanet Modification. So what we've got here with this knife is a 7 1/4 inch long blade from bottom to top, and a blade length of about 2 5/8 inches. Now you can tell that that blade shape is not designed for outdoor use, for skinning or any of that other stuff. That is a tactical blade. Of course, I still haven't found any volunteers for allowing me to test my tactical knives on them properly, so we're going to continue to test these tactical knives on wood, which doesn't fight back. The steel on this knife is 5CR stainless steel. Now I don't know a whole lot about that. It sounds related to 3CR, 8CR, 13 MOV, and some of those other knives, steels, which I found to be pretty adequate in a lot of uses. Not super great for edge retention, but I would probably put them somewhere in the category of, or in the neighborhood of AUS 8 as far as quality and edge retention. Maybe slightly below that, not really sure. Don't know how extensive I'll get with testing either on this. In that reverse grip, I definitely feel some pressure from the spine right there. And that becomes quite painful to hold on to. If I weren't wearing gloves, I would stop immediately. You can tell that that has got a little paracord wrapped handle, but it's done in kind of an interesting way. You see that the frame of the knife is such that it kind of flows through right there and on the bottom, and then the cord wraps around on that inner core of steel. That is a pretty cool feature. I like the way that works. It does not add anything to the profile of the knife while giving you a little bit of girth to hold on to, adding some comfort to it, and also giving you that extra survival feature of some paracord, right, with a little bit of paracord tied on as a lanyard as well. I don't know quite how much is on here. I would say it's probably less than 6 feet in total. However, I'll take that over nothing. What I'm doing here is drilling in kind of a rotating slice and kind of putting all the pressure on the edge. All the cutting opportunity is given to the edge, given to that tip and that edge, rather than putting a lot of torsional pressure on that tip and pushing it to the point that I think it's going to break. It does have some nice jimping here at the top and also in the finger guard right there, which is quite aggressive and will definitely hold a bare finger into that, and a gloved finger I think will do quite well in there as well. I was a little leery at first about these points right here and here. I thought those would get my finger and I would not feel comfortable holding on to this knife, but that actually is just the right amount of space, and it does a pretty nice job of kind of locking my finger in. I actually like the design of this handle quite a lot. You can see that the tip on it is quite delicate, really, really fine. That's going to give you some great piercing as far as the initial stab goes, but as far as prying or any kind of accidental chips or nicks or whatever, you could lose that tip quite quickly. And I also noticed that the shape of that Tonto is kind of a, what would you call that, a concave? Yeah, it's kind of a concave shape, kind of curves inward, which means that you've got some very aggressive points here and there for any of those sort of tactical situations in which you need to employ those. I bet you they carve up some wood pretty well too. That secondary tip could potentially help you to drill a hole in some wood. However, it's not really, doesn't really have the, doesn't protrude enough to really get the job done, so you kind of do need that main tip, which again is quite delicate. And so I would be very careful with it if you're doing any sort of drilling, any sort of prying, any sort of really tight kind of fine cutting with that tip. Go easy on it. It's not designed to take a whole lot of pressure. I'm quite certain that it would bust off in a heartbeat if I gave it the opportunity to. However, it seems clear to me that if you use the tool within its capacity, within its clear capability, it won't fail on you. It'll do just fine. going along with the theme of reasonable hard use for these small knives, I'm going to go ahead and try some batoning on this Browning now. Got into kind of a hard spot, pried things away. Still, the tip looks fine. I'm kind of banging that tip hard. It's doing fine. The edge is also perfect still. The sheath for this Browning OPMOD first priority knife is made by Blade Tech. It feels like a type of Kydex or some other thermoplastic, and it does feature Blade Tech's Tech Lock. Now, if there's one downside to this knife carrying this system, it's that this is a very small knife and this is a very big clip system. So it adds a lot of weight, a lot of bulk to what would otherwise be a very small neck knife package or belt knife package or something like that. Not minimal really at all in the clip department. So it's a really, really versatile system, but like I said, for a small knife like this, maybe a little bit of overkill. Guys, I love it when a tool exceeds its supposed limitations, and I would say that this first priority knife from Browning is definitely doing that here today. It's a very small, very light, clearly kind of a last-ditch fixed blade knife, but it is holding up really well in this outdoor use that I put it through today. It's also clearly not an outdoors knife. But given the use that I've put it through today, I think I can definitely recommend this as a pretty tough little tactical knife, and I really like it. The folks over at OpticsPlanet did send me this knife for review. I have found some upsides and some downsides to it. I think I shared all those with you. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope it's been helpful to you. I'm the Late Boy Scout. Thanks for watching. The Azula, by the way, with the fire ant on the blade, gets its name from an Amazon ant called the Azula. That is known for being pretty aggressive, tenacious, and really tough, and of course small, which the knife also is.